Welcome back to the General Hospital Spoilers channel, where today we're diving deep into the explosive drama unfolding on Tuesday, November th. As secrets unravel and alliances shatter in Port Charles in a twist that's sure to leave fans gasping, the mischievous pup Outback becomes an unlikely hero or villain by snatching crucial mansion paperwork right from under the noses of the Quarterman clan, escalating a family feud that's been simmering for generations. This furry intruder, known for his playful antics around the estate, dashes off with documents that could redefine ownership lines, forcing everyone involved to chase after him in a chaotic scene reminiscent of classic soap chases, but with higher stakes tied to legacy and betrayal. As Outback bolts through the opulent halls, his tiny paws pattering against marble floors polished by decades of Quartermain wealth, the theft highlights how even the smallest member of the household can append major power plays, adding a layer of a whimsy to the otherwise cutthroat battle over the iconic mansion. Meanwhile, tensions ignite in Professor Henry Hank Dalton's dimly lit office, where Emma Scorpio Drake confronts her longtime rival Britt Westburn in a showdown packed with sharp words and unresolved grudges from their shared history of espionage and heartbreak. Emma, ever the determined investigator with her Scorpio heritage, fueling her relentless pursuit, presses Britt for answers after stumbling upon her in this unexpected lair, her eyes narrowing as she recalls past deceptions that nearly destroyed her family ties. Britt, with her signature icy poise and a wardrobe choice of sleek black that screams calculated defiance, artfully sidesteps the barrage of questions, countering with barbs that poke at Emma's vulnerabilities, like her strained bond with her father or her lingering doubts about trust in Port Charles' shadowy underbelly. The clash escalates into a verbal sparring match, with accusations flying about hidden agendas and loyalties tested before Emma storms out to regroup with Giovanni Joe Palmieri, whose calm demeanor and strategic mind offer a stark contrast to the fiery exchange. In their hushed strategy session over steaming coffees in a nearby cafe, Emma and Joe dissect Britt's evasions, brainstorming ways to pierce her armor, perhaps by leveraging old Aquarius files or enlisting unexpected allies, turning this confrontation into a pivotal turning point that could expose deeper conspiracies lurking in the academic shadows. Over in the high-stakes world of courtroom drama, Sonny Corinthos pulls Alexis Davis aside in a dimly lit corridor outside the courthouse, his growly voice urging her to redirect her defense strategy for Willow Tate by shifting blame to Portia Robinson, rather than their own son, Michael Corinthos. In a move that reeks of the mobster's pragmatic ruthlessness, Sonny, drawing from his own experiences dodging legal bullets through misdirection, paints Portia as the scheming co-chief of staff whose ambitions have long poisoned hospital politics, suggesting Alexis weaving in tales of Portia's past cover-ups to make the accusations stick without hard evidence. Yet Alexis, the sharp legal eagle with a moral compass forged in years of family crisis, pushes back fiercely, arguing that hurling unsubstantiated claims at a respected doctor like Portia could backfire spectacularly, tarnishing her reputation and Willow's case in one fell swoop. Instead, she counters with a more straightforward narrative. Portray Michael as the bitter ex-husband fueled by revenge, desperate to eliminate Drew, Kane and frame Willow in a web of jealousy and corporate sabotage that ties back to his Corinthos lineage. This debate underscores the ethical tie trope Alexis walks, balancing loyalty to Sonny's empire with her commitment to justice, potentially foreshadowing rifts that could ripple through the Corinthos Davis dynamic for episodes to come. Refusing to bend under pressure, Laura Collins stands firm against Jen Sidwell's desperate blend of bribes and veiled threats in a tense private meeting at the mayor's office, her mayoral poise unbroken as she channels the unyielding spirit that's defined her political career amid personal turmoil. Sidwell, a shadowy figure with a briefcase full of illicit incentives and a glare that promises repercussions, dangles promises of campaign funds and whispers warnings of scandals that could derail her re-election bid. But Laura's Eyes steel with the resolve of someone who's faced down worse from cult escapes to family losses. She counters his overtures with a cool dismissal, citing her unbreakable code of integrity that has guided her through Port Charles' darkest days, insisting that no deal with the devil will sway her from protecting the city's vulnerable. As Sidwell storms out, muttering about the terrible mistake she's making, Laura lingers at her desk, reflecting on how this standoff reinforces her role as a beacon of morality, perhaps even inspiring younger politicians like Molly Lansing to emulate her steadfastness in future arcs. This moment not only solidifies Laura's character arc, but injects fresh intrigue into the political subplot, hinting at Sidwell's next vengeful move that could ensnare innocent bystanders. In a heartfelt bid to mend their fractured marriage, Curtis Ashford was Jordan Ashford with a candle-lit dinner at their favorite overlooking the water spot, emphasizing that the recent baby revelation changes nothing about his unwavering devotion to her as his one true partner. Curtis, his smooth charisma laced with genuine vulnerability from his gambling recovery and near-death experiences, reassures Jordan that their bond forged in investigations and shared secrets outshines any external complications, painting vivid pictures of future family adventures that include her at the center. Jordan, torn between her cop's instincts for self-preservation and the pull of their electric chemistry, begins to soften under his touch. Her defenses crumbling as memories of their passionate nights flood back, leading to a surrender that reignites their flame in a steamy embrace. This reconciliation adds emotional depth to the Ashford storyline, exploring themes of forgiveness and resilience while teasing potential conflicts if the baby's origins stir jealousy or legal hurdles down the line. Shock waves hit Tracy Quartermaine when she uncovers the authentic version of Monica Quartermaine's will tucked away in a forgotten drawer of her antique desk. A discovery that shatters her assumptions and ignites a firestorm of familial deceit within the sprawling Quartermaine estate. Tracy, the queen of sharp-tonged schemes with a history of outmaneuvering rivals like Ned and AJ, pores over the document under the glow of a crystal chandelier, her face paling as she realizes Monica's true intent was never to gift the mansion to the enigmatic Veronica Ronnie. Barred, but to secure it for her own lineage. This revelation exposes an elaborate plot, possibly orchestrated by interlopers eyeing the property's value or hidden agendas tied to elk talks, prompting Tracy to speed toward the residence in her vintage convertible, her mind racing with accusations and counter-strategies honed from decades of boardroom battles. As she arrives, the air thick with anticipation, Ronnie pauses at the signing table, her hesitation born from whispers of doubt about the windfall strings, buying precious seconds that allow Outback's interference to unfold. Drew Kane and Martin Gray lean in with persuasive urgency, their voices a mix of charm and insistence as they coax Ronnie to ink the deal, swiftly, promising freedom from the Quartermaine drama that has snared so many before her. Drew, the Navy vet turned corporate warrior with scars from memory loss and wrongful imprisonment, stresses the finality of escape, while Martin, the slick lawyer, with a penchant for gray area deals, adds legal reassurances backed by clauses that shield her from future claims. But Ronnie's momentary stole, fueled by a sudden paying of conscience or a fleeting loyalty to Monica's memory, opens the door for Outback to pounce. The dog's enthusiastic leap, scattering papers and sending Drew into pursuit mode, shouting commands that echo through the grand rooms adorned with family portraits. Drew gives chase, his athletic build put to the test as Outback weaves past priceless voses, amusing Michael Corinthos and Ronnie, who exchange bemused glances at the absurdity of a canine caper derailing high society intrigue. Once the papers are reclaimed, Drew redoubles his efforts, urging Ronnie with renewed vigor to seal the transfer and vanish into a life unburdened by Port Charles' endless cycles of revenge and redemption. Just as the pen hovers, Tracy explodes through the double doors like a force of nature. Her designer heels clicking authoritatively as she brandishes the true will, ready to dismantle the fraud with revelations that will crown her the undisputed ruler of the manor once more. General Hospital spoilers tease that Monica's heartfelt bequest favor Tracy's stewardship, ensuring the house remains a Quartermain stronghold and paving the way for epic clashes that redefine family loyalties in the weeks ahead. Next, we will learn about the brewing drama surrounding Michael Corinthos and Willow Tate, where their long-awaited reunion feels more inevitable than ever amid swirling accusations and heartfelt family ties. In the glittering yet treacherous world of Port Charles, few love stories have captured hearts quite like the one between Michael Corinthos and Willow Tate. Picture this: a couple who once strolled hand in hand through sun-drenched parks, sharing whispered dreams of a future filled with laughter and stability for their growing family. Their marriage wasn't just a union. It was a sanctuary built on mutual respect, shared hardships, and an unshakable commitment to one another. Willow, with her fierce independence and nurturing spirit, complemented Michael's protective nature perfectly, turning ordinary moments into cherished memories. But as with many tales in the soap opera realm, bliss was short-lived. A cascade of betrayals, secrets unearthed, and external pressures shattered their idyllic bond, leaving fragments scattered like broken glass across the Quartermain estate. Yet, in the unpredictable tapestry of General Hospital, shattered doesn't always mean irreparable. Fans have long speculated that beneath the rubble lies a foundation strong enough to rebuild, especially when children's futures hang in the balance. Imagine the emotional depth of a storyline where old flames flicker back to life, not through grand gestures, but through quiet realizations of what was lost. This narrative arc draws parallels to classic GH couples, like Sunny and Carly, who weathered storms of infidelity and danger only to emerge renewed. For Michael and Willow, their past happiness serves as a beacon, reminding viewers that true love and Poor Charles often defies the odds, evolving through pain into something even more profound. Fast forward to the present, chaos and Michael's priorities have shifted dramatically toward shielding his beloved children Y and Amelia from the shadows cast by Willow's current predicament. As a devoted father, Michael has always placed family at the forefront. His decisions often laced with the weight of legacy from the powerful Corinthos and Quartermain bloodlines. WY, the spirited boy who's grown under Michael's watchful eye, represents innocence amid the town's constant intrigue, while little Amelia embodies the hope of new beginnings. Right now, Michael's stance is unyielding. He's erected emotional barriers, viewing Willow's actions as a direct threat to their safety and well-being. This protective fervor isn't born from malice, but from a father's instinct to preserve the fragile peace his kids deserve. Willow's imprisonment at the notorious Pentonville Correctional Facility adds layers of tragedy to this divide, painting her as a fallen heroine in a web of deceit. Behind those cold bars, she insists on her innocence in the shocking shooting of Drew Quarter, a pivotal event that rocked Port Charles and exposed fractures in alliances long thought solid. Willow's claims that Michael masterminded a frame-up against her stem from overheard conversations and suspicious timmings, fueling a courtroom drama that's gripped audiences. Picture the tension in those sterile visitation rooms where accusations fly like daggers, yet glimpses of their former tenderness peek through. A lingering gaze, a hesitant touch. Despite the severity, this rift mirrors other GH sagas where lovers clashed violently, only to find forgiveness. Take Luke and Laura's infamous history. Abductions, manipulations, and near deaths didn't sever their tie permanently. For Michael and Willow, the prison walls might isolate her physically, but emotionally, the pole remains, hinting at a redemption arc where evidence surfaces to clear her name, perhaps through an unlikely ally like Spinelli uncovering digital footprints of the true culprit. What makes this potential reconciliation so tantalizing is the soap's enduring tradition of second chances where Port Charles acts as a forgiving stage for flawed characters to rewrite their destinies. The town with its sprawling mansions, bustling docks, and hidden agendas has hosted countless comebacks from Jason's resurrections to Elizabeth's tangled romances. As current arcs wrap up loose ends, like the fallout from the election scandal or Nina's media empire emanations, space opens for personal healings. For Willow and Michael, this could unfold gradually. A supervised family visit, turning into tentative dialogues, evolving into shared custody battles that reignite sparks. Envision Willow's release on a technicality, perhaps a mistrial due to tampered evidence involving Valentine Cassadine's shadowy influences, forcing Michael to confront his biases. Their interactions might start strained, laced with barbs over past hurts, but deepen as they co-parent through Y school events or Amelia's milestones. Fans theorize a pivotal episode where a family crisis, say a health scare echoing Willow's own leukemia battle, unites them against a common foe like Cyrus Renault's lingering frets. This fresh start wouldn't erase scars, but would layer in maturity, showing how time apart has honed their individual strengths. Michael's business a come-in Eddie LQ sharpening his empathy. Willow's resilience in solitude forging unbreakable resolve. In GH's lore, no feud is final. Even the most venomous betrayals like those between the Spencers and Cassadinis pave the way for uneasy truces that blossom into alliances. Thus, Michael and Willow's path, the winding, aligns with this pattern, promising a reunion that feels earned and electric. At the heart of this storyline's magnetic pole lies the undeniable alchemy between portrayers Caitlin McMullen and Rory Gibson, whose on-screen synergy elevates every scene to must-watch status. Since Gibson assumed the role of Michael in Late, replacing the beloved Chad Dole, he's infused the character with a fresh intensity, a brooding charisma that blends seamlessly with McMullen's portrayal of Willow's fiery vulnerability. Their chemistry isn't manufactured. It's a natural rapport that crackles during arguments, softens in vulnerable exchanges, and ignites in rare moments of accord. Consider a recent episode where they clashed over visitation rights. Gibson's steely gaze met McMullen's defiant stare, creating a storm of unspoken longing that left viewers breathless. This duo complements each other masterfully. Gibson's grounded presence anchors make Mullen's emotional whirlwinds, allowing her to explore Willow's multifaceted grief and anger without overplaying. Off-screen, their camaraderie shines, too. Whispers from set insiders reveal collaborative script readings where they brainstorm nuances, ensuring authenticity in their portrayals. Fans have flooded social media with edits and threads praising this pairing, dubbing them Milo to point for revitalizing a fan favorite couple. Ignoring this dynamic would be a disservice to GH's legacy of pairing actors who spark. It's reminiscent of how Anthony Geary and Jeannie Francis redefined TV romance in the S, with Gibson's rugged appeal and McMullen's radiant poise. They not only look stunning together, think tailored suits against flowing dresses in Port Charles galas, but also promise layered storytelling. Recently, McMullen posted a captivating behind-the-scenes snap from the Grayson fan event on her Instagram, capturing her and Gibson laughing amid Elvis memorabilia, a subtle nod to their off-screen bond that fuels reunion hopes as writers capitalize on this. Expect scripted moments where subtle flirtations or accidental intimacies hint at rekindled passion, drawing parallels to real-life couples who've navigated on-set tensions into lasting partnerships. Diving deeper, the invented twists in this narrative could include Willow discovering a hidden letter from Michael penned during her trial confessing his regrets and fears for their family. This revelation might prompt a midnight jailbreak subplot, not literal but emotional, where Michael sneaks in under the guise of legal counsel, only for guards to interrupt a near kiss. Analysts of GH's patterns note how such devices heighten stakes, blending suspense with romance. Moreover, introducing a new character, perhaps a prison counselor with ties to the Quartermaines, could mediate their healing, offering therapy sessions that unear suppressed affections. Gibson's Michael might grapple with internal monologues voiced in soliloquies, revealing his lingering love amid loyalty to Sasha or other interests. McMullen's Willow meanwhile could channel her isolation into advocacy work within Pentonville, emerging stronger and positioning her as Michael's equal in future ELQ boardroom battles. These elements not only lengthen the arc but enrich character development, ensuring the reunion resonates as a triumph over adversity. Ultimately, as Port Charles drama unfolds, the Michael Willow saga underscores GH's timeless appeal. Love's resilience amid chaos, with children's bonds as the unbreakable thread and actors' chemistry as the spark, their story promises twists that keep fans hooked. From courtroom exonerations to heartfelt apologies under starry skies. Stay tuned for more spoilers as this epic continues to weave its magic. Next, we will learn about the explosive drama unfolding in Port Charles for the week of November RD, where 3 pivotal moments promise to shake the Quartermaine legacy, test unlikely alliances, and unravel hidden seductions. Among the elite, Tracy Quartermaine's showdown intensifies. In the shadowed halls of the Quartermaine mansion, Tracy Quartermaine stumbles upon a long-forgotten copy of her sister, Monica's will, tucked away in a dusty archive that hasn't seen the light of day since the family's last bitter estate battle years ago. This discovery arms Tracy with a powerful bargaining chip as the document outlines asset distributions that could drastically alter the power dynamics within the iconic estate, potentially sidelining newer family members in favor of the old guard. But just as Tracy begins plotting her next move, perhaps envisioning a triumphant return to her rightful place at the head of the family table, a shocking revelation emerges. This version of the will might be superseded by a more recent amendment filed mere weeks before Monica's tragic passing. Alexis Davis, the sharp-witted attorney, who's navigated more family feuds than she cares to count, stands firm in her conviction that Monica, ever the strategist, updated her final wishes to reflect evolving loyalties and protect the Quartermaine fortune from internal sabotage. This legal twist could render Tracy's leverage null and void, forcing her to scramble for alternative angles. Like digging into procedural flaws or rallying disgruntled relatives who feel shortchanged by the changes. Wills in Port Charles have a notorious history of being contested, from forged signatures to coerced revisions, and Tracy's aggressive style might push her to challenge the validity in court, dragging the entire clan into a media frenzy that exposes long-buried secrets about Monica's final days. Enter Brooklyn Ashton, the cunning Quarter Eyes, who's been quietly orchestrating the sale of the family home to Drew Kane, a deal struck in the heat of financial desperation to fund her own ambitious ventures outside the corporate shadow. Brooklyn's second thoughts bubble to the surface as she weighs the emotional weight of handing over the keys to a man who's both ally and adversary. Memories of childhood games in those grand rooms clashing with the cold reality of profit margins. If Tracy storms in with her trademark venomous accusations accusing Brooklyn of betrayal and favoritism, it could trigger a dramatic reversal, with Brooklyn digging in her heels out of sheer spite, transforming the transaction into a weapon against her aunt's interference. To pull off such a pivot, Brooklyn would need to come clean to the Quartermaines about her clandestine pact with Martin Gray, the sly lawyer whose dossier on her past indiscretions holds the threat of public scandal. This confession could fracture alliances within the family as Ned and the others grapple with the implications of hidden leverage and divided loyalties, potentially leading to an explosive boardroom clash where old wounds from Elk power struggles reopen wider than ever, inventing a new layer. Imagine Brooklyn uncovering a clause in Monica's will that ties the house's fate to a charitable trust through Port Charles youth programs, forcing her to balance personal gain against the Quatermain name's public image, adding a moral dilemma that humanizes her scheming nature. Sunny's urgent plea to Alexis shifts suspicions. Meanwhile, across town in the dimly lit confines of Alexis Davis's law office, Sunny Corinthos corners his ex-wife with a desperate plea to steer clear of implicating Michael Corinthos in the brazen shooting of Drew Kane, a crime that sent ripples of paranoia through the underworld and high society alike. Sunny, ever the protector of his fractured family, knows Alexis is laser-focused on exonerating Willowite from her entanglement in a web of medical fraud and corporate espionage. Viewing Michael's proximity to the crime scene as a convenient scapegoat to Reader X scrutiny, but pinning it on his son, would ignite a firestorm within the Corinthos clan, unraveling the fragile peace Sunny has fought to maintain amid his own battles with rival syndicates. Alexis, balancing her ethical compass against the high stakes of Willow's freedom, listens intently as Sunny lays out a counter-narrative, suggesting an overlooked suspect, like a vengeful associate from Drew's military past or a corporate saboteur tied to Yelku's latest merger was. This strategic maneuvering highlights Sunny's evolution from impulsive mobster to calculated advisor, drawing on his decades of evading FBI traps to offer Alexis a silver platter alternative, perhaps fingering a shadowy figure connected to the Casadinis, whose offshore accounts could provide the financial trail needed to clear Willow without collateral damage. The conversation crackles with tension as unspoken history between Sunny and Alexis. From their stormy romance to shared custody nightmares colors every word, making this alliance as volatile as it is vital. Delving deeper, consider how this moment ties into broader Port Charles intrigue. Drew's shooting isn't just a random act, but a calculated hit, linked to his Aurora media empire clashing with Valentine Cassadin's European investments, forcing Sunny to leverage his street smarts to shield Michael while protecting his own empire from fallout. Inventing fresh drama. Suppose Sunny reveals a tip from an informant about a disguised shooter spotted near the Metro Court, prompting Alexis to subpoena security footage that could expose a surprising link to Holly Sutton's latest con, blending international espionage with family redemption arcs in a way that keeps viewers guessing about true motives and hidden agendas. Ava Jerome captivates Jen Sidwell in a seductive power play. Shifting to the opulent undercurrents of Spoon Island, Ava Jerome turns heads and raises stakes by dazzling Jen Sidwell, the enigmatic financier whose arrival in Port Charles stirs whispers of offshore deals and untapped fortunes waiting to be claimed. Ava, with her signature blend of charm and cunning, deploys her flirtatious arsenal during a high society gala at the Jerome Gallery, where subtle glances and whispered promises leave Sidwell utterly impressed by her business acumen masked as playful seduction. This encounter isn't mere flirtation. It's a calculated step for Ava to reclaim influence lost after her Windermere exile, positioning herself as the gateway to Port Charles elite networks that Sidwell covets for his expansion plans. Sidwell, a newcomer with a reputation for spotting diamonds in the rough, finds Ava's blend of artistic insight and ruthless negotiation irresistible, especially as she pitches a collaborative venture involving rare Cassadini artifacts unearthed from the island's forgotten vaults. Fans might speculate on the thrill of Ava maneuvering her way back into Windermere under the guise of this partnership, slipping past guards and ghosts to access hidden ledgers that could expose Nicola's Cassadin's lingering financial ties. A bold reclamation that blends romance with revenge, adding inventive flair. Envision Ava staging a private tour of the castle's secret chambers, where she uncovers a locket engraved with Sidwell's family crest, forging an instant bond that propels their alliance into dangerous territory, complete with late-night strategy sessions overlooking the stormy Atlantic. Yet, this seduction carries risks. Ava's history of volatile entanglements could backfire if Sidwell's impressed facade hides a ruthless agenda, perhaps tied to laundering funds through her gallery, forcing her to navigate a minefield of trust and betrayal while shielding her daughter Avery from the fallout. The scene promises visual splendor with Ava in a crimson gown that echoes her fiery spirit as Sidwell's admiration evolves into a tentative offer that could redefine her status in Port Charles society. Britt Westburn's secret exposed sparks a chain reaction as tensions simmer on Spoon Island. Britt Westburn faces a heart-pounding bust when Emma Scorpio Drake catches her in a compromising huddle with Professor Henry Hank Dalton, the scholarly newcomer, whose intellectual pursuits mask deeper mysteries in Port Charles academia. Britt, quick on her feet, spins an elaborate cover story attributing their meeting to a collaborative research project on rare medical toxins derived from Cosidini experiments. But Emma's sharp instincts hone from years of shadowing her parents' spy games pierce through the facade. Sensing the electric undercurrent of something far more personal, this discovery reignites old grudges as Emma recalls Britt's rocky history with the Scorpio Drake family, including clashes over patient care and ethical boundaries during past hospital crisis. Complications mount when Emma connects the dots to Rocco Falconer's recent revelation of his biological ties to Britt, a bombshell that already strained family dynamics and now fuels Emma's determination to protect her loved ones from potential heartbreak. Alerting Giovanni Joe Palmieri, her trusted confidant in the medical community, Emma sets off a ripple effect with Joe's insider knowledge of Hank's controversial grant funding, raising red flags about conflicts of interest that could jeopardize Britt's career at GH. Later, Emma teams up with Charlotte Cosidini, whose youthful curiosity blends with a street-smart edge, pulling their insights to dissect Britt's motives. Is this liaison a bid for redemption or a ploy to access Cosidini secrets? Valentine Cassidy's timely warning to Charlotte about Britt's duplicitous nature drawn from his own tangled history with the Doctor during the Ice Princess saga adds layers of caution, urging the young Cosidini to tread carefully amid whispers of espionage, inventing a thrilling extension. Suppose this web intertwines with Jocelyn Jack's covert assignment from Dex to infiltrate a black market artifact ring where Hank's professorial cover provides the academic front, leading Jocelyn to cross paths with Emma and Charlotte in a tense alliance that uncovers a plot threatening the entire town's safety. What starts as a personal exposure spirals into a multifaceted conspiracy, blending romance, rivalry, and revelation in true General Hospital fashion, leaving fans on the edge of their seats for the fallout. These three moments weave a tapestry of betrayal, seduction, and redemption that defines Port Charles' enduring allure, promising twists that will have viewers debating long after the credits roll.